Well, I'm going to do a couple things I don't normally do. I'm going to... I'm gonna smoke. I don't smoke. So probably I'll do it all inexpertly. In my head, I'm the thin man. So I'm gonna smoke. These are friends' cigarettes that they left. Now I'm gonna smoke. The car, no less, where it will definitely smell. So okay. Yes, I know smoking's bad for you, but you're tired of me going to something else. Anyway, smoking's not cool, kids. Do I look like the thin man? Okay. I'm also going to talk about a subject I haven't talked about. Not the kind of thing I use the internet to talk about. I like to talk philosophy and politics online. Why? Because they're social things, meaning society. And so, I talk about the things we shared. We share philosophy and politics. Art theory. But I think I'm ready. I want to talk about love and real human matters. Things that matter to individuals. So I have a question. My question is, do I need a good woman? Do I need a good woman? That's the question. Do I need a good woman? It's a loaded question, right? I mean, there's two things right off the bat that I find very loaded. It's not the kind of question I would ever ask, ever. Questions are very important. The question you ask determines what answers are possible. Okay, there's two things about that I think that are loaded, and I'll start with the second most serious part, which is, you don't know me. Well, that's not quite true. I mean, I've been online, so there's a lot of people that know my writing online, my politics. Maybe some of you are watching, so maybe you do know. Maybe you don't need to know. I think some of you are going to say, assuming I get any answers, which actually, that's another thing. I don't usually care if I like to have a little conversation, but high numbers of answers are no big deal. In this case, it'd be kind of nice to get a lot of different answers. I think some of you will just say, hey, yeah, you need a good woman. I mean, I asked my stepmother, my lifelong stepmother. I knew she'd have some attitude like that. I was curious what she'd say, but she was definitely, hell yeah, you need a good woman. I don't need to think about the definition of good. Of course, she already knows me, but even if she didn't, she's a big fan of the good woman theory. And the whole good woman theory of that, where, the woman is supportive and all this, it's good. People should be supportive of each other, but as a sexual stereotype, it's fucked. So, the question should really be, do I need a woman in my life? But see, I don't want to ask that. I want to ask, do I need a good woman? Me in particular, there is a topic, and the topic is, do I need a good woman? Alright. So, some of you might want to know a little bit about me. Like, for example, you might want to know questions like, do I already have a good woman? Because that might affect whether I actually need one, right? If you're thinking specifically, think of every word in the sentence. Okay, so some of you might want to know a little bit about me, like, okay, I'm separated for a year and a half. That's another sense of my question, right? I separated a year and a half ago, and I love women, but I also have two daughters, and I have a life that I need to attend to. I sort of focused on, well, I'll just wait and see people come along and see what happens. I'm not going to go out there. Like when I first got separated, you run out, you want to make sure you're still alive or whatever. I didn't have a wild stage. I'm a pretty philosophical guy. But, I kind of had a conception that, I'll just hold out for someone really good. I'll learn how not to need anybody. I'll acquire the sexual habits of a monk if I need to, so that, I won't be desperate running around just for somebody to get laid. When you're young, and maybe you wonder if you can get laid, or you're freshly divorced and you wonder if you can get laid. Whatever, but you don't really want to prove things through your relationships with other people. That's not healthy. And I won't really settle. I like to compromise in general in life, but I won't settle at all. And then I keep thinking that that's going to make me not find anybody. But what happens instead is women do show up. But that raises this question: is somebody going to be in my life, or should I just, I was in a 19-year-long relationship, 14 of marriage. I'm 85, by the way. And so anyway, I was in this 19 years of marriage. That's one feature about me. And I kind of thought, I believe in lifelong marriage, lifelong relationships. So, hell, strictly speaking, I still have a relationship with my ex, with my children. But I believe in lifelong, full-on romantic relationships. Didn't work for me. Didn't work for a lot of people. Part of me is sort of like, well, I did that. Now I'll just be single forever. I'll be a dad. I'll do that. I actually think having a partner will distract, probably. I'm not the kind of person that's going to run out and get a mother for my daughters or something like this. I have joint custody. I want to have full custody. Now I'm thinking, oh, you know what? It would be nice to have a woman in the house for reasons like that as well. Is that the good woman thing? Is that why? Should I look as a woman in my life as sort of a role that does exist? And that I need to fill? I said Phil. Sexy Phil. He's not sexy. Sexy Phil. He's S-X-E. Sexy Phil, if you want to tell me the answer to my question, I would love it. Do I need a woman? I need a good woman.